Hello and welcome to the Daily Bible Podcast. My name is William Hemsworth. Thank you so much for joining me for today's episode. Well, today's kind of exciting. Today we finish off Matthew chapter 8 here on the Daily Bible, so we are continuing on slowly but surely through Scripture. And so today, because we're finishing off Matthew chapter 8, we're going to be looking at Matthew chapter 8 verses 30 through 34. And as you may recall in yesterday's show, we see Jesus encountering a couple men who are demon-possessed. They live in a graveyard. And the demons say, "What have you to do with us, Son of God? Are you here to destroy us before our time, or torment us before our time?" And this is kind of where we pick up the story today. So here we go. Matthew chapter 8, verses 30 through 34 say, "Now a large herd of swine was feeding at some distance from them. The demons begged him, 'If you cast us out, send us into the herd of swine.' And he said to them, 'Go.' So they came out and entered the swine, and suddenly the whole herd rushed down the steep bank into the sea and perished in the water. The swineherds ran off, and going into the town, they told the whole story about what had happened to the demoniacs. Then the whole town came out to meet Jesus, and when they saw him, they begged him to leave their neighborhood." So very interesting here. A couple things pop out to me. Yes, this was a primarily Gentile region. It was a primary Gentile region, so having swine was not really unheard of. However, according to Jewish law, to be in the presence of swine, to raise pigs, was something that wasn't done. It was against the law. And one other thing, immediately when the demons entered the pigs, they destroyed the pigs. This proves that the demons had a destructive intent to these individuals. And it also shows that the value that Jesus places on every human life. I think that's something that we need to take from this as well. Yes, these men, think about it. They lived in a graveyard. I'm sure they were acting very strangely because they were possessed by demons. Jesus took compassion on them, loved them, and cast the demons out. They weren't a lost cause. You see, by contrast, none of us are a lost cause, no matter what we may have done. No one out that we encounter in the world is a lost cause. Because they're made in the image of God, and they deserve that dignity, that love, and that respect. Christ showed that love and that dignity for each human life. That's something that we need to do as well. Sorry, I had some papers fall there. So Jesus is manifesting his divinity, his divine power, by casting out these demons. Now, in the Old Testament, waters represented hostile forces. We see that with, Jonah. And this is kind of what that motif, as I said a couple days ago, Matthew kind of presents Jesus as a new type of Jonah. He's using typology. So waters represent hostile forces, and we see that in Psalm 69 verses 1 through 4 very clearly. So waters are sometimes personified as beasts that rise out of the sea. And by driving the demon-possessed beasts back into the sea, Jesus symbolically demonstrates his triumph over Satan's kingdom. That's another thing to take away. Yes, there are times where Satan seems like he may have the upper hand, but he doesn't. Jesus said he will be with us through the end of the age. Take heart in that. As Billy Graham said, "I've read the end of the Bible. It turns out all right." And it does. In the end, Satan will get his due. But you and I, let's go forth every day Let's try to bring a little piece of heaven to earth by treating people with the love, the dignity, and the respect that they deserve as God's children. Let's bring the gospel to them. Let's love them. Let's nurture them. God bless you guys. Thank you for joining me in this edition of the Daily Bible Podcast. And join me tomorrow as we start Matthew chapter 9. And as always, please, if you enjoy the show, please rate it, please share it. And any questions, any prayer requests, please email me, hopewithin18@gmail.com. God bless you guys. Thank you for joining me. Take care.